Cupcakes are perfect for any occasion, and these cupcakes are so soft, light, and fluffy. They are so moist and they are super delicious and they dome wonderfully. And it has an amazing blend of vanilla and chocolate flavors. And these cupcakes are so easy to make that a total beginner can bake beautiful cupcakes. And this recipe does not require any baking soda or baking powder, but we use eggs as the only leavener. So let's see how to make these soft and fluffy cupcakes in a few steps. To make this cake, we'll need only a few basic ingredients: 4 large eggs, flour, sugar, oil, and milk, little corn flour to add more tenderness to our cake, cocoa powder to make the chocolate batter, and a bit of salt to balance the sweetness, and a little vanilla extract to add a wonderful aroma to our cake. Now let's start preparing our cake batter. The sponge cake recipe is mainly based on eggs. So as the first step, let's separate the eggs into egg yolks and egg whites. So let's whip up the egg whites, and when they start to become frothy, add half of the sugar, that is 50 grams of sugar, little by little into the egg whites. Beat the egg whites on medium to high speed until they form stiff peaks. The secret behind successful sponge cakes is beating as much as air as possible into the egg whites. In the heat of the oven, those small air pockets trapped inside the batter will start to expand, causing the cake batter to rise beautifully even without adding any baking powder or baking soda. As eggs are one of the important ingredients in this recipe, always make sure our eggs are fresh and they are at room temperature. At one stage, the top of the egg whites will curl when the beaters are lifted. Continue beating until they form medium stiff peaks. At this stage, the tip of the egg whites will stay almost straight up when the beaters are lifted. And now the white part of our cake batter is ready. And now into our egg yolks, or the yellow part. We need to combine all the best of the ingredients into this except the cocoa powder. So beat the egg yolks and the rest of the sugar, that is 50 grams of sugar, until the mixture turns light and foamy and pale yellow in color. And now it's time to add all those liquid ingredients into this: the vanilla extract, oil, and milk, and mix them together with a spatula. And now it's time to add the flour mix. Let's add salt and corn flour into the flour and whisk them together to make sure the corn flour and salt is evenly distributed in the flour. And then we need to sift in the flour mix into the yolk mixture and combine them together until they are completely incorporated and they just form a smooth mixture. It's better to do this with a hand whisk and not using an electric mixer, because if we overmix the batter after adding the flour, this may cause the gluten strands to develop, and this can make our cake tough and rubbery. So now our yellow mix is done. And now we need to combine the white and the yellow. Let's add the egg whites into the yolk mixture in 3 parts so that we can combine them gently and smoothly. Take 1/3 part of the egg white foam and gently incorporate it into the egg yolk mixture, and repeat the same with the rest of the egg whites. At this stage, we need to take care not to deflate the lovely air pockets that we have created. If we are not gentle enough, the air bubbles may get deflated and our cake batter may not be able to rise properly in the oven. So whisk them gently to form a smooth batter. And now our cake batter is half ready. We are going to make half of our cake batter to be chocolate flavored. So let's pour in half of the cake batter into another bowl. And then sift in the cocoa powder into this. And if we don't sift in the cocoa powder and add it directly into the batter, it can create few clumps here and there, and we may need to fold it for longer time, which may cause the air bubbles to get deflated. So sift in the cocoa powder into the batter. So now we got two batters, vanilla and chocolate. Now we are going to make a lighter chocolate batter by mixing together about 7 tablespoons of vanilla batter and 3 tablespoons of chocolate batter in another bowl. Now line the cupcake baking tray with some cupcake paper liners and then pour in the cake batter into it. Here I'm pouring in about 2 tablespoons of chocolate batter into all those cups, then about 2 tablespoons of the lighter chocolate batter, and then the vanilla batter into each mold. Now we need to tap that tray a few times on the counter to remove any large air bubbles. Now our cupcakes are ready to go into the oven. So pour in some room temperature water into a baking tray up to 1 inch height and place that tray on the lowest rack of the oven. We are going to bake them at a lower temperature with that water bath, which will help them to rise slowly and evenly, and thus we can prevent any chance of cracking on top. So bake at 300 degree Fahrenheit for 25 to 30 minutes or until they are golden brown color on top, and you can also test the doneness by poking a skewer into the center of the cupcake, and if it comes out clean, our cake is done. And when the cupcakes are done, take them out of the oven and remove the cupcakes from the baking tray and place them on a cooling rack or on the counter and let them cool down completely. And these cupcakes are light and airy, soft and fluffy, and they have that delectable vanilla and chocolate flavors blended in 3 beautiful different layers. And they are not too sweet and they are protein rich, and you can frost them with any of your favorite frostings, or you can have them as plain cupcakes. And we can also make a super soft and beautiful zebra sponge cake using this same recipe. I've given the link to that video in the description box below. You can check it out. I hope you found this cupcake recipe simple and easy. Hope you will make this at home and I'm sure you will love it. And if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and please share this recipe with your friends and family. And please don't forget to subscribe this channel so that you won't miss any upcoming recipes. Thank you so much for watching this video and see you next time.